It's going to be nice, though. I think getting out of the spotlight and just getting to live my life and do things that I want to do, and, you know, not have to sit and I love talking to all of you, but it's going to be nice to not have to sit in front of a microphone, you know, multiple times a week. I really appreciate all of you, but it will be nice to kind of get away and relax for a little bit.
Look at how happy Caitlin Clark is after escaping the toxic culture, while the WNBA is practically losing its mind over her confirmed massive contract in Europe.
Like, I keep getting notification in people commenting under my shorts videos that Caitlin Clark's gone. She's left the WNBA. What is going on? Like, I don't believe that.
What was once just a rumor is now cold hard fact, and it's got the league scrambling so much they even fired Christy Sides from the Indiana Fever.
Christy Sides' time as the coach of the Indiana Fever is very likely coming to an end. It looks like they are trying to completely shut it down.
The chaos is real, and nothing seems to make sense anymore. With everything falling apart, there's really no reason for Caitlin to stick around. But what exactly are the details of her new European deal? What's going to happen with her Nike contract tied to the WNBA? And how will all the legal stuff play out? Let's break it all down.
There are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season.
Does she have the build to play in the WNBA?
So from day one, it was clear the WNBA should have only one job: build their future around Caitlin Clark, but instead they've managed to fumble the bag so badly that now Clark's heading to Europe and they're in absolute panic mode because they are about to lose the cash cow of the league.
She's just not built for the physicality of this league. Yeah, and she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality.
If you ask why, then let's talk about Caitlin's rookie season, because calling it amazing doesn't even begin to cover it. She wasn't just good, she was electrifying. Her three-point shots were hitting from another time zone, her court vision was ridiculous, and fans, they were showing up in droves, packed arenas.
People are tuning in. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I have not tuned in 1 second since Caitlin Clark was eliminated, but that's not unusual for
record-breaking TV numbers. The Caitlin Clark effect was in full swing. She single-handedly gave the WNBA a much-needed spotlight, dragging them into relevance. Whether they were ready for it or not, she wasn't just some rookie. She was the rookie, the one that could have carried the league to new heights. And what did they do? Absolutely nothing to keep her happy.
But yes, she will have a target on her back as well.
Behind the scenes, it was a different story. Sure, Clark was boosting the WNBA's ratings, but instead of being treated like the star, she was practically getting beaten up on the court. Every night, veterans were coming. For her flagrant fouls were raining down like confetti, and the league, they were sitting there with their popcorn just watching it all happen. It's like they didn't realize she was their golden goose until, oops, she's out the door.
She's been box office, she was the main attraction, and there were so many storylines that's been associated with her. Most recently, the whole thing with her and Cheryl Swoops, even though it really wasn't her. It was Cheryl Swoops and all this. Every time you turned around, there was something that she had to deal with.
Now, Caitlin's had enough. She's packing up and heading to Europe, where they'll probably treat her like the basketball royalty she is. Meanwhile, the WNBA is running around like a chicken with its head cut off, wondering how on earth they're going to keep fans interested. ESPN ? They're throwing their own little fit, trying to pretend like they have any say in the matter. Spoiler alert, they don't.
Get called for some technical fouls. She struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said.
Clark's done with the disrespect, done with the lack of protection, and done with the WNBA think they could coast on her talent without actually supporting her. She's making power moves, and honestly, good for her. Let's not forget what she had to deal with during her time in the league. This wasn't your typical rookie roughing up. This was next-level brutality. Every game, it seemed like players were gunning for her, fouling her like it was a contact sport. The referees completely useless. There were times when it looked like Clark was getting tackled, and the refs just stood there like, what play on? No wonder. She started calling them out in interviews, saying she felt like she was getting hammered out there, and she wasn't exaggerating.
I keep getting notification in people commenting under my shorts videos that Caitlin Clark's gone. She's left the WNBA. What is going on? Like, I don't believe that.
Instead of stepping in to protect their brightest star, the WNBA let the jealousy of other players run wild. Veterans weren't mentoring Clark, they were taking shots at her literally. It wasn't about basketball anymore, it was personal. And the league just stood by, twiddling their thumbs. Now they're paying the price. Caitlin Clark is done being their punching bag, and she's taking her talents to Europe, where, let's be honest, they'll probably roll. Out a red carpet for her. This isn't just about Clark playing overseas, though. It's about her demanding the respect she deserves. The WNBA had every opportunity to make her the face of women's basketball, to build their entire brand around her, but instead they let her get beat up on the court, ignored her value, and now she's gone. And now they're in chaos, trying to figure out how to keep people watching without their biggest star.
Hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
ESPN's panicking too, because guess what? All those viewers they were banking on to boost their ratings gone, just like that. The league's left scratching its head wondering what went wrong, but the truth is simple: they didn't value Caitlin Clark, and now they're paying the price. Clark's move to Europe isn't just a win for her, it's a wake-up call for the WNBA and ESPN. They took her for granted, and now all they can do is throw a tantrum while watching the player who is supposed to carry their future walk away, leaving them in the dust.
Those guys, they're the racists, when really y'all are the racists. The people coming up with excuses to hate Caitlin Clark and the new fan base that she brought.
ESPN was living the dream when Caitlin Clark burst onto the WNBA scene, and who could blame them the moment she stepped on that court? It was crystal clear this wasn't just another rookie, this was a game changer. ESPN saw dollar signs, future headlines, and a flood of new fans just waiting to jump on the Caitlin Clark train, so they went all in, hyping her up as the next big thing in women's basketball. And you know what? It worked. Clark's games, instant blockbusters, viewership numbers skyrocketed, and ESPN was riding that wave like it was the only show in town. She was their golden ticket, and they were loving every second of it.
The Michael Jordan of the WNBA was assaulted, has a black eye during the second half of the game because Dejanay Carrington stabbed her with her fingernails in the eye. Play the, I believe it's, side 11. Could we just play this on a loop? So I'm not exaggerating.
But let's not forget Chindi Carter's little stunt. This one's a classic because after she poked in Clark's eye, almost made her blind for the whole playoff game. There was no ejection called, no real punishment given. It was as if taking out the league's brightest star was just a casual Tuesday for the WNBA. The message: it's open season on Caitlin Clark and nobody's stepping in to stop it.
And then all of a sudden your hand turns downwards and straight into the eye of the biggest star in the WNBA. It's not a natural act. And I called it out yesterday in real time watching the game. Like, hey, that was on purpose. That was not an accident.
And this wasn't just a one-off incident either. Clark was on the receiving end of 177% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls during her rookie season. Let that sink in for a second. She wasn't just targeted more than anyone else, she was practically a magnet for cheap shots, and 80% of those fouls, they came from one team, the Chicago Sky.
There was also a stat that came out a few weeks ago that said Caitlin Clark received 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season, and 80% of those flagrant fouls were committed by the Chicago Sky against Caitlin Clark. Now, this one that we see right here that I believe should have been a flagrant foul was not called that. So there have been cheap shots, there have been hard fouls, there have been other plays that haven't even been called flagrant fouls.
Carter's shoulder check was just the start. Players like Diamond to Shields took it even further, running her over in a fit of frustration during a game where the score wasn't even close. Clark got knocked down game after game, and all the while ESPN stayed silent. No calling out the league, no pushing for better protection, just business as usual, milking Clark's popularity while she was out there getting slammed.
Let her cook. Y'all stop being petty. Stop being catty, cause she like a double-edged sword. She couldn't tell left and right. And it's bothering y'all, and I see it.
And the locker room dynamics were even worse. Clark wasn't just dealing with fouls and physical aggression on the court, she was dealing with a toxic atmosphere within the league itself. Veterans saw her as a newcomer who didn't deserve the attention she was getting, and instead of supporting her, they did everything they could to push her out. This wasn't the kind of environment where a star could thrive. Clark had become more of a liability in their eyes, a threat to the status quo rather than someone who could elevate the entire league.
Your biggest star, your meal ticket, the reason why you have relevancy, just got stabbed and assaulted and nothing.
The WNBA's failure to recognize Clark's value until it was too late is staggering. They had in their hands a player who outshined legends like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird, not just in terms of talent, but also in terms of impact Taurasi and Bird may be icons of the game, but neither of them drew the kind of attention or revenue that Clark did in just her rookie season. Yet despite all of this, the WNBA didn't do enough to protect her. They let her walk away, and now they're left to deal with the fallout.
Every time you play rookies, you just want to fucking kill them.
I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. It's unacceptable, honestly. We've been professional throughout the whole entire thing.
And Clark.
Now that Clark's gone, ESPN's in full meltdown mode. They're scrambling, watching their viewership numbers nosedive without the one player who was drawing in all the fans before she announced her departure. WNBA games involving Clark pulled in nearly 2 million viewers, while the rest of the league barely scraped by with 400,000. That's not just a dip, that's a cliff dive, and ESPN knows that they're scrambling to figure out how to keep people watching, but without Clark, they're running out of tricks.
What's
worse is that ESPN knows they could have done more. They could have used their massive platform to call out the WNBA for letting their biggest star get beaten up night after night. They could have demanded better officiating, stricter penalties for the players going after Clark. But nope, they did nothing. They sat back, hyped up the drama, and kept counting the viewers rolling, and now they're left picking up the pieces, wishing they had done something while they had the chance.
It doesn't matter who you are, what rookie you are, vets are coming at your neck because we're here to show you, like, this is a grown women's league and this is the best league in the world for a reason. So it doesn't matter who you are.
I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Because Caitlin Clark was the WNBA's golden goose, the player who could have carried them into a new era of success. Instead, the league allowed petty rivalries, dirty play, and internal politics to push her out the door, and now, as they scramble to figure out what went wrong, the reality is clear. They let their best player walk away without putting up a fight, and they're going to feel the consequences for a long time to come.